What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Thursday, August 8th, 2024, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 16:26 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from the Middle East and from Europe. So we're still waiting to see what happens with Iran and Israel. And the U.S. is moving a lot of strategic assets into the Middle East. Last night, they moved a bunch of F 22s from the UK to Qatar. And also, we've seen a lot of C-17 Globemasters go to the Middle East as well. Those are U.S. military cargo planes. So the U.S. is preparing for some type of an escalation between Iran and Israel. And it's very possible that the U.S. and Israel could also launch a massive preemptive strike on Iran or some kind of massive retaliation strike together with those F 22s. Okay, the F 22s are specifically designed to penetrate enemy airspace, heavily defended airspace, okay, with air defenses and deliver munitions. Okay, they can fly into areas with a lot of sophisticated air defenses and destroy them, destroy radars, destroy bases, etc. Okay, so the U.S. is going to be moving up to 24 F 22s into the Middle East. We know that they moved at least half a dozen last night from the UK. So this is very serious. The U.S. also moved an entire squadron of F 18s from the USS Teddy Roosevelt to a base in Jordan. So this is going to be a very serious strike, I believe, by Iran. And the U.S. said that they warned Iran that its government and economy would suffer a devastating blow if it were to mount a major attack against Israel, according to the Wall Street Journal. Okay, that is huge, guys. Serious threat from the U.S. to Iran that the Iranian government and its economy would suffer a devastating blow. Okay, so probably a combination of military strikes and sanctions. And United Airlines just announced that they're going to be canceling all of their scheduled flights to Tel Aviv. Okay, now, yesterday I reported that Israel has already deployed search and rescue battalions to Tel Aviv and all their major cities in central Israel and southern Israel. These are IDF battalions that specialize in search and rescue, specifically in urban areas after building collapses due to missile attacks. So Israel is preparing for a massive strike, and Israeli intelligence believes that Iran is going to target the Israeli parliament building, the Israeli prime minister's office, IDF headquarters, Mossad headquarters, various types of military bases, including the Dimona facility, which is the home of Israel's, or actually the birthplace of Israel's nuclear weapons program, the Dimona facility in the Negev desert. And also, they're saying that Iran could strike gas platforms, seaports, airports, and infrastructure. Okay, so Iran could launch a massive strategic attack on Israel designed to basically cripple the nation, okay, and destroy the country. And if that happens, Israel will declare war, and so will the United States, okay? So that could happen, guys. And the U.S. is saying that they're having a hard time figuring out when Iran is going to strike because Iran already had everything in position since April. Because remember, when Iran launched their attack in April, they already pre-positioned everything and prepared for a possible response from the U.S. and Israel that never really happened. Israel just flew into Iran with F 35s and destroyed a couple of S 400 sites around their Natanz facility, and that was it. Okay. So Iran has been prepared for several months. Now, our nuclear forces are on high alert. Today, you can see here 3 nuclear war command and control planes up in the air and 2 B-52 nuclear bombers. Now, there are some peculiar exercises going on off the coast of Southern California and also in northern Michigan. So I personally don't believe that these exercises were scheduled a long time ago. I think they're doing them now because of everything going on with Iran. There were B-1s and B-52s flying off the coast of Southern California with probably a dozen or so aerial refuelers 2 nights ago. And today over northern Michigan, we also have a bunch of aerial refuelers. So some type of strategic exercises going on off of Southern California and in northern Michigan. I do believe this is related to what's going on now, but 3 nuclear war command and control planes up in the air right now. These planes are responsible for remotely launching all of our Minuteman III ICBMs, and they're also responsible for communicating with our submerged nuclear armed submarines. So yesterday we had some interesting radio traffic on the primary nuclear war frequencies here in the US. There were several encrypted data transmissions yesterday evening. They were pretty short, but very rare to hear those, some kind of encrypted data. So our nuclear forces are preparing for the worst. And here you can see several Pegasus aerial refuelers that went from the UK to Qatar. And it is believed that they were escorting or helping the F-22s reach Qatar, because the F-22s have small fuel tanks and they can't make the trip by themselves. So they need support from these refuelers. So these are potentially the refuelers that help the F-22s reach Qatar. Guys, if they're moving F-22s to Qatar, that means they're preparing for strikes on Iran. Okay, if those F-22s are in Qatar, Qatar is literally right across the Persian Gulf from Iran. That allows these F-22s to fly right into Iran and attack their Natanz facility, their Fordow facility, which is kind of in the central northern part of Iran. So this is very, very serious, guys. And before I continue with the breaking news, I wanted to mention the sponsor for this update, which is My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing their most aggressive discount yet on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewith NYPrepper.com. They've lowered the price of their 3-month food supply from $800 down to $500. 3 months of emergency food for $500. That is a really good deal, and it will last you 25 years because it is freeze dried and it's all packed within 6 rugged water resistant buckets. So you have all that food in a small package. You can store that pretty much anywhere. And you can also take it with you. If you have to bug out, you can throw that in your vehicle easily. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get $300 off the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, $500 for it. Also, they have free shipping and handling included. In addition to the 3-month supply, they also have a general store. And to get to their general store, you got to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll see the My Patriot Supply logo at the very bottom of the page. You click on that, and it'll take you to their general store, and they have all kinds of discounts. And to get the deals, you got to use my link, preparewithnyprepper.com, and I'll leave the link in the description below this video. And I want to remind you guys that the UK has a NOTAM up for Western Lebanon and Beirut, telling their pilots to not enter the Beirut FIR, Flight Information Region, which is basically all of Western Lebanon, until November the 4th, okay? But United Airlines announcing the cancellation of all flights to Tel Aviv, absolutely insane. And we do have some reports coming in this morning of Israel targeting weapons storage warehouses in Syria at the Al Shayrat airport in Homs. So, potentially some type of minor preemptive strike by Israel targeting a weapons storage facility. And Rodrich Kaiswetter, a member of the German parliament's Foreign Relations Committee, said that Germany must abandon the hope that the Islamic Republic of Iran will give up nuclear weapons. He added that Iran is only a few weeks away from becoming a nuclear power. Okay, so it is possible that the U.S. could use this as an opportunity to denuclearize Iran finally and strike their facilities, their main facilities, the Fordow facility, Natanz. They have several nuclear enrichment sites. And Macron spoke with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last night and apparently repeated his pleas that Israel must avoid a regional escalation, and France will continue to work vigorously with its regional and international partners in the search for a reliable political framework based on a two-state solution. So isn't it funny that Macron calls Netanyahu and tells him to avoid escalation? Why doesn't he call Iran and tell Iran to avoid escalation? They're the ones that launched hundreds of missiles at Israel back in April, which the West did nothing about. And that's why we're in this situation right now, because we failed to deter Iran when it was needed. And the IDF has eliminated a senior Hamas official in the Gaza Strip who was involved in directing attacks on the West Bank. China's foreign minister said in a telephone conversation with his Jordanian and Egyptian counterparts that any retaliation in the Middle East would intensify violence and conflicts. And the leader of the Houthis said today the response to the Israeli aggression that targeted fuel tanks in the port of Hodeidah is inevitable and is coming. The delay in the response from the Axis in the face of the Israeli escalation is a purely tactical matter and aims to have an effective response on the enemy. The enemy knows that the response is inevitable and that there is no turning back from it, and it is met with preparations supervised by the Americans. There is nothing that can divert the decision to respond from intimidation or pressure. Okay, so that's what the leader of the Houthis is saying, that the response is coming. And the squadron of F-18s that were relocated from the USS Teddy Roosevelt to an unnamed base earlier this week in the Middle East are now confirmed to have been Strike Fighter Squadron 25, also known as the Fist of the Fleet, from Naval Air Station Lemoore in California. And the DoD released photos showing them landing at the Muwafaq Salti Air Base in Jordan on August the 3rd. And what you're looking at here is a picture of the German Navy Braunschweig class corvette, the FGS Ludwigshafen, in Cyprus on August the 5th. Okay, so a German Navy corvette in Cyprus here. Okay, this thing looks like it means business. And then here we have some video footage coming out of Cyprus showing what appears to be the WASP amphibious ready group. I could be wrong though, but you can see this carrier type ship here in Cyprus. And then there's this ship right here. So there's definitely a lot of equipment being moved into Cyprus. Okay. The U.S. is preparing for a massive escalation. Want to update you guys on the situation in Ukraine. So Russia has been losing badly in the Kursk Oblast after Ukraine literally invaded Russia, and they've occupied several hundred square kilometers of territory in the Kursk Oblast. And what you're looking at here is a picture coming from Lumidovka in Russia. This is literally just a few miles away from the Kursk nuclear power plant. Okay, so let me just show you on the map. This is a Ukrainian soldier posing in front of the sign for the town Lumidovka. I don't know how to say it, but I'll show you on the map where this is. Okay, So this is Lubimovka in Kursk. And here's the Kursk nuclear power plant, okay? Kurskaya Atomnaya Stanция, okay? That's the Kursk nuclear power plant right here in Russia, just a few miles away from where this Ukrainian soldier was posing in that picture right here, Lubimovka, whatever. Okay. So the Ukrainians are closing in on this nuclear power plant, and they've already taken control of this natural gas metering station that supplies 50% of gas to Europe from Russia. Okay, and that's right here in Suja, right? And they've moved all the way up here to Lubimovka. So, they've advanced, looks like 30 miles into Russia. This is absolutely insane, guys. Okay, and then here we have some footage coming from the Kursk Oblast. I don't know exactly where in the Kursk Oblast this was, but you can see a bunch of Russian equipment here that was destroyed by Ukrainian artillery, Ukrainian airstrikes. We just don't know. Okay, you can see what appears to be trucks with flatbed trailers with tanks on them that were hit by some kind of ordnance, potentially Ukrainian F-16s, who knows, or had to be some kind of precision strike to be able to take out these flatbeds from a long distance away. Usually artillery can't do that. You usually need some kind of guided missile, either from an aircraft or potentially like an ATACMS. Okay, so the Ukrainians are advancing further and further into Russia. And here you can see some video footage coming from the Kursk Oblast, filmed by a Russian. And he's driving down this highway in this town of Suja, and you can see abandoned vehicles on the side of the road as Russians are just literally abandoning their vehicles and fleeing as the Ukrainian forces enter into the Kursk Oblast. You can see all these abandoned vehicles on the side of the road here. You can see that car literally just stopped on the exit ramp, and they didn't even bother closing their door. They just ran out and ran for their life. So very serious situation over there in Kursk as Ukraine is advancing inside of Russian territory. And I did show video footage in my last update of a Ukrainian F-16 possibly flying over the Kursk Oblast. And we're hearing reports that there's columns of Ukrainian forces moving from Kyiv to the Chernihiv region. And yesterday, there were also reports of Ukrainian forces moving into Chernobyl. So it's possible Ukraine may also try to invade Russia from the Chernobyl and Chernihiv direction, and maybe also go into Belarus as well. Okay. And we're hearing that Russian forces have deployed a mobile hospital with about 100 beds in the Kursk region. So, very serious. And Russian sources claim that advancing Ukrainian troops in the Kursk Oblast are employing advanced electronic warfare methods. And Russian sources claim that around 4,000 Russian soldiers from the Belgorod region and a brigade from near Vovchansk, along with 2,200 soldiers reassigned from Ukrainian fronts, have been redirected to the Kursk region in an attempt to oust Ukrainian forces. Okay, so Russia is scrambling to move equipment and personnel to Kursk to push out the Ukrainians. But as you can see on this map here, okay, they are literally just a few miles away from this nuclear power plant. And wouldn't it be interesting if they seized control of it in the same way that Russia seized control of the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant? Okay, and they're also getting close to downtown Kursk. You can see Lubimovka over here, and Kursk is right over there. And Trump said he offered 3 debates with Kamala Harris on September 4th, 10th, and the 25th. And ABC News has announced that it will host a debate on September the 10th. And the debate on the 4th will be on Fox News. And Trump said that Russia, China, and North Korea do not respect the United States anymore because of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And he said that we are in great danger. And I want to just show you guys some more interesting flights here. So we had a Israeli military plane take off from Nevatim Air Base and fly all the way to DC, which is very interesting. We had more reconnaissance in the Eastern Mediterranean last night. We had this U.S. Navy reconnaissance drone patrolling off the coast of Lebanon. And we also had this massive exercise, which is ongoing now off the coast of Southern California, still ongoing every single day the last couple days. And then here you can see this massive exercise in Michigan. Look at this, guys. Like half a dozen aerial refuelers, an AWACS plane, and a P-8 Poseidon in Lake Huron. So this is very interesting. Maybe it's not an exercise. Who knows? More P-8 Poseidon sub-hunters off the coast of Florida. The hunt for Red October continues. Here you can see two P-8 Poseidons this afternoon. One off the west coast of Florida out in the Gulf, one off the east coast of Florida. Then we had this P-8 Poseidon go straight out into the Atlantic, and then it disappeared from the flight tracker out here. Two more sub-hunters off the west coast of Florida earlier today as well. So a total of 4 sub-hunters off of Florida this afternoon. That is definitely not normal. And then we had more reconnaissance last night in Eastern Europe. We had a U.S. reconnaissance plane, a rivet joint, fly around Kaliningrad in northeast Poland. And we also had a NATO AWACS plane looping in Romania. And right now, we actually have a Polish reconnaissance plane flying over northeast Poland. And there was also another AWACS plane in northeast Poland as well. So that's the latest breaking news that I have. I am continuing to monitor the situation with Iran and Israel. I do have my 24/7 live stream up right now. You can come in and hang out, listen to our nuclear forces communicating. You can look at the flight trackers. You can chat with like-minded individuals, and I do have some cameras up as well. A lot of people have been asking me for cameras of Israel and Lebanon on the live streams, and I can't find any at all. I have reached out to Associated Press, AFP, Reuters, and others for access to their live cameras. I want to purchase their feeds, and they haven't gotten back to me for whatever reason. I've called, I've emailed, so I don't know what's going on. I spoke with the director of sales at AFP, and he gave me a price quote, but he said he would have to vet my channel because they don't want to just give out live feeds to anybody. So, maybe he saw all my gun videos and he decided it wasn't a good fit or whatever. But there are no live feeds in Israel or Lebanon that I can share because of security reasons, and whatever's still up that hasn't been taken down is copyrighted. But I am continuing to monitor the situation, and it does appear that this could go down as soon as tonight, but literally any day now. Okay, and it could be a massive strategic attack. I don't think Iran is scared of the U.S. threats simply because last time in April we didn't do anything. Okay, so judging by the way the Biden administration has been handling everything in the Middle East, I don't think they feel that we're going to do anything in response. So I don't think Iran is going to hold back, but we'll have to wait and see. I really hope that we respond if Iran launches a strategic strike on Israel, which is what Israel is preparing for. Okay, they're preparing for a strategic attack. I hope that we respond properly, because if we don't, that would be really, really bad. Okay. But that's it for now. I'm going to keep monitoring the situation. I will be back later on tonight, if necessary, with another update. And if anything happens, I will be covering it live. So until next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.